Hey guys, so this is it. This is the video in which I am going to be checking out the brand new Sony 18-135 variable aperture lens. Here is the box that it comes in, and let's check out how it comes packaged. And I have to say it is a lot smaller than I expected. Steady shot lens hood is included, which is nice, circular aperture. And more information on this side. Now, just because so many of you have been asking about it, I went out and purchased the 18-105 again, and just for comparison you can see how much larger this box is, or longer I should say. Let's go ahead and open this up. Alright, so lens is right there, information is on the side. I'm not going to go through any of that. In bubble wrap, here is the lens hood that you get. It's all plastic. This is the APS-C SH153. Inside is not lined with anything. It's just a plastic lens hood. And the lens. Wow, this thing is small. I see the appeal now. It's very compact. So here we are. Optical steady shot in a nice gray there. You have a Sony branding. This lens is made in, doesn't even say, manual focus and autofocus switch, which is nice. Around the front, same thing, more information, more of the same information. Minimum focusing distances, 0.45 meters, 1.48 feet, and 55mm filter thread. Very cool. So the focus ring is very smooth, and the zoom ring doesn't extend as far as I thought it would. So that is it, 18 millimeters and all the way out to 135. Here it is around the back. You have a metal mount with electronic connections. I have to say it is pretty lightweight as well. So definitely an interesting lens. I like it a little bit more than I thought I would, and I'm excited to mount this on my camera and see what you get. And just because I'm curious, here is the new 18-105. Wow, so there is quite a noticeable size difference between these two. Look at the front lens element of each of these. Significantly larger with the 18-105. The 18-135 is just a lot smaller. I would say it's about maybe an inch shorter in length overall. Not as girthy as the 18-105. This is noticeably lighter and a little bit easier to pack with you. So if you guys are comparing and cross-shopping these two lenses, that's what you can expect as far as a size difference between the two. And here is the lens mounted on my A6000, and I have to say it just matches very well. It actually looks a little bit better on the A6500 just because of the texture of the body. It is big, but not too big. As you extend the barrel, you can see that it extends. If you travel a lot and you are thinking, should I get the 18-135 versus the 18-105? Here is the 18-135 on the camera body, and here is the 18-105. For a zoom lens, this 18-135 is very compact and looks great. So this lens was released earlier this month. However, I haven't had a chance to really use it very much because the weather in Austin has been pretty terrible. Over this past weekend, my wife and I went with a couple of our good friends down to Houston. We spent the weekend there. And so I'm gonna show you a couple of sample shots and videos using this lens on my A6500. So here we go. So that is it for the sample photos and videos. This thing is going to be, mark my words, it's going to be the replacement kit lens for Sony cameras in the future. I could see them packaging this with the a6500 and charging a bit more for it. It's a good lens for what it does. Now, let me preface this by saying that when Sony announced the 18-135, I got a little bit upset about it, not because I thought that it was a dumb lens, I just thought that Sony should be focusing on getting us a fast 16-50. F2.8 please. I just didn't understand the rationale behind releasing another lens that covers the same focal range really as the Zeiss 16-70 and the already great 18-105 lens. But after using this lens for the past couple of days, I see the rationale, and I'm hoping that Sony does have some sort of long-term strategy when it comes to releasing lenses for the E-mount. So in this video, I'm not going to do any comparisons side-by-side shots between this lens and the 18-105. I actually haven't even shot them together yet because I wanted to devote 100% of my attention to this thing and see if it's any good on its own. I'm going to start with the good things first. It's compact, it's lightweight, it's easy to carry around, it's very easy to use, it focuses quickly, it's silent at focusing. I like the autofocus and manual focus switch on the side of the lens. It just makes it easy to go from one to the other. You don't have to mess around with any menu settings. I like the fact that it has optical stabilization built in, so if you're using it on the a6000, it stabilizes it quite a bit. On the a6500, you get the dual benefit of the in-body stabilization plus the lens stabilization, so that is very cool. The images are decently sharp. There is some distortion, as you would expect with a zoom lens like this, especially at the 18mm wide focal range. Overall, I was pleasantly surprised with its performance. It does a good job for a variable aperture lens. Now let's talk about the cons. This thing is not good at low light because 3.5 is not really great for low light, and f5.6 is certainly not very good for low light. So if you're looking for a zoom lens with better low light performance, this isn't the one to get. And honestly, neither is the 18-105 because f4 isn't that much better. You really need to get something like an f1.8, f2 to get decent low light performance in my opinion. The second thing is on the wide end. So if you're using this lens at 18mm and shooting raw, you get a ton of vignetting in the corners. I'll show you an example here. Now, for most of you who are shooting raw, you're probably going to be editing your pictures in something like Adobe Lightroom, so that's not going to be a huge issue for you. But if you have that sort of vignetting and you're trying to get sharp images corner to corner at 18mm, it's not ideal. If you zoom in a little bit and you take the shot at like 20/21, it seems to go away, but wide at 18mm, it is noticeable. Now, if you are shooting JPEG, the camera body itself corrects for the distortion, not only the barrel distortion, but the vignetting in the corners. So it's less of an issue. However, it's not going to be as sharp as a dedicated wide angle lens. If 80% of your shots are taken wide at 18mm, this is not the lens for you. You should be looking at the Sigma 16mm, which is amazing, and sharp corner to corner, wide open, better in low light, etc., etc. Buy the lens that suits what you are actually shooting and using the lens for. The last gripe that I have about this lens is that Sony could have easily weather sealed it if they wanted to. Yes, it would have cost them an extra $5 per lens to put a couple of rubber gaskets on the mount and on the inside, but it would have made for a better lens overall. For most people, it's not going to make a huge difference because you're probably not out in the rain shooting, but for some people who are looking for a kit lens replacement and they're looking to vlog with this lens, would have been nice to have a weather sealed kit lens essentially with a weather sealed body like the a6300 or a6500. So my overall conclusion about this lens is that I actually like it. I didn't think that I would. In fact, I had no intentions of keeping this lens, but I might actually keep it because I enjoy using it. As far as how it compares to the 18-105, stay tuned because I will be making a video showing side-by-side images for both. From my initial impressions, I think that optically they're going to be very, very close, if not almost identical. So who is this lens for? Really, it's for someone who's looking to replace their kit lens with something that gives them a wider range. They're not looking to swap lenses. They're not really looking to use primes a whole lot. They just want one lens that they can pack away on their trip and use in a variety of environments. They're not going to be concerned too much with low light performance because this really isn't a performer in the dark. At the end of the day, it is a kit lens replacement. It's a little bit on the pricey side, but it does a good job. When you look at offerings from Canon, such as the 18-135 from Canon, they're a bit expensive. This thing is so much smaller than even those lenses. You have to respect Sony for packing such a wide zoom range in a compact package like this. It's not perfect, but no lens really is perfect. So if you guys are looking for a replacement for your kit lens, something that's gonna do decent all around from 18 all the way into 135, and make sure that you're not too picky about the corners at 18 millimeters, definitely check this lens out. I'll post a link down below to Amazon and B&H. If you guys have any questions about this lens, any experience using it, comment down below. I'm curious as to what you guys think about it. As always, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all of the likes, comments, and support, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.